Hello, everybody, and welcome to the special week of Father Knows Something. We have not only Justin as a reader and guest host again, but we have a very special set of guest hosts. Tonight, we have Midwestern Married with us, my son, Matt, and daughter-in-law, Amy. Also, I just want
Can I correct you?
Yeah.
It's just Midwest Married.
Oh, okay. So what is it? What did I say?
No and.
Oh. And Midwest Mary, we have Matt, my son, and his wife, my daughter-in-law, Amy. And we're just kicking it off as now Thanksgiving is over. We're going to the Christmas season. So you can see we're all bundled up here in sunny, warm California with our blankets and our Christmas socks.
Getting cozy.
We also got to do Disney this weekend, and we brought Donald Duck back with us. So Donald, are you around?
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. What's the theme tonight?
Okay, so tonight we're going to be diving into romance.
Ooh. I'll have to work on long-term memory.
Okay, are we ready to go?
We're ready to go.
Let's do it.
We're ready.
Story number 1.
Hi, FKS gang. Sorry for the long read. I have an issue that's been churning in my head for about a month, and I'm at an impasse of what I should do. So over a year ago, I met a great guy in my hometown in Norway. Let's call him G. G and I had a little summer romance before I went back to my studies in Denmark. We continued texting, and G visited me in November 2023. It was an amazing trip, and at the end, G admitted he was in love with me. This scared me since I've been in a long-distance relationship before that turned to absolute shit. My ex cheated on me on my birthday. To spare myself, I started to distance myself from G. We met again when I was home for Christmas, and even though I now see that I did have feelings for G at this time, I told him that we could only be friends. We took some time apart, but reconnected during Easter break, when he got a job opportunity in Finland. We started communicating more frequently, long phone calls, and deep talks about the chaos surrounding our lives at the time. When I finished my degree this summer, we decided to meet up in Italy for a concert with our favorite band. The second I saw G in Italy, I knew I was in love, but I would never admit it since he had started dating someone 3 weeks before. However, after the first day, he called the girl he was dating without my knowledge and called it quits, since he was also in love with me. After that, we both admitted the feelings we had for each other, and the trip basically turned into a romantic montage from a movie. The rest of the summer, we spent on talking over the phone, trying to figure out how we could start connecting our lives together. A week after booking a trip to visit him and meet his family, he calls me. The girl he was seeing before me is pregnant, and she's keeping the child. G's biggest wish in life is to be a dad, and he decided to be involved with the kid, which I very much agree with. However, he is also moving in with the girl to make things easier. It was a whirlwind of weeks where I felt like I was getting punches from every corner. He cut communication with me to then say the sweetest things and try to figure out how we could still make it work. He also admitted he was planning to propose on our upcoming trip. I see now that G was very much in shock. I love G so much, and I truly think he could have been the one, but I don't see how I could be involved with someone that has a child on the way and lives in a different country, not to mention the moving in with baby mama. Help.
Wow.
That was a roller coaster. There were ups and downs. I was like, oh yay, oh no, oh yay, oh no. Wow. Yeah, that is for sure a tough situation.
Yeah, I thought we had a Notebook moment there where they're standing in the rain. It was over. You never wrote to me. And Ryan Gosling, it wasn't over then, and it isn't over now. Pow!
So what do you recommend for them?
I'm a firm believer in right person, right time, right place. That was at least what was very true for us. We had dated since we were quite young, but it was never one of those things never really lined up until we were in our older 20s. And we actually were long distance for 2 years throughout my schooling. Matt actually wanted to move with me to PA school, and I told him, nope, can't. You got to stay behind here because I need to like really focus on doing this. And didn't want any distractions from that because that was my number one priority. So for us, that long distance was actually really, really good because all we could do was communicate, right? And so you really learned how to best communicate when that's all you have. So that program was a 27-month-long program. By the end of that, I was like, I cannot do this for any much more period of time. So I do think if you're going to do long distance, like there needs to be an end date. Like how long are you going to be doing the long distance for? What's the ultimate goal where you are going to be together?
And you also have a child now.
So then that's the whole huge wrench that comes into it. Before we knew about baby on the way, it seemed like all three of those things were going to line up, or at least the two things, right? But then with the baby coming, that's going to be so many changes for him. I wonder if it's not quite the right time anymore. And so I would say, let him have this time while you're figuring things out.
And be apart.
Well, I think that would be up to her. Like be a part or
no,
to be a part of the circle.
Give him his space to go figure out what he's really going to do and how it's going to develop for him.
Yeah.
With her in his life at this time or with her out of his life at this time. And what's better for her, what's better for him from what you see.
Yeah. I think at this point, remain friends. I don't know that I would put the pressure of a long distance relationship on top of everything else, but giving him that space and support and then seeing where the time goes and seeing if other things happen for her along the way too.
I just think that if she's questioning it right now and has this question mark in her brain, like, how is this going to work? There's some things that she needs to answer for herself. And they took a break the first time and came back and, well, then she knew. So maybe she does need to take a break. But if your heart's calling and you're ready to be involved in that person's life and that child's life, I think you need to make that statement to G and then ask G, say, if we are going to make this work, I realize you want to make it easier, but let's make it easier together. And we'll figure out a way where we can move into a place, or I'll move back and we'll find an apartment near baby mama. It's tough when somebody's going to move back in with an ex, somebody they've been romantically tied to. And I think that there's going to be a lot of excess drama. So unless you are truly prepared to accept everything that goes in with that, then take the time that you need to really find out if you want to inject yourself into that situation.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Ideal outcome, I don't want to leave my current life that I've built in Denmark. And with the child coming, he cannot leave Finland either. Is it possible to build something together with this distance, or should I just cut my losses?
Well, now it's my turn. Because I've been down this road. And, I have to really let you know that it's wonderful that you're circling your love for him. But when the baby starts calling you mom or gets an attachment to you, you have to really make the commitment also that you're going to have a commitment for this child as well. And if you're not ready for that, to be really a family, even though that you're going to be a unique family, to say the least, she's going to be always a part of your life, certainly for the first 18 to 22 years, the baby mama. And if you try to break up and you find that he is the only one and he can't stay away from you and you guys are really meant to be, it will happen. You guys will find yourself, falling back for each other and not letting go. There's a lot of dynamic going on right now, especially during the pregnancy. And maybe you want to take a try, since you're not living together anyways, and see if anybody else is out there for you in your life. You've certainly learned more about relationships. You've learned more about love, and you're not afraid of love at this point. And you'll see if what I call the screen, the shit detector, that you'll screen out the the undesirables, the ones that are not going to fit within your life. And you'll be more attracted to people that would be in your life. So it might be an idea just to give him his space and let him see how it develops with him and baby mama and the child and all that stuff. And if someone else comes in your life, that brings more power into your romance.
Yeah. The last little bit of additional info we have, the girl G was seeing was quite heartbroken when he called it off, but has said that even if he decides he doesn't want to be involved with the child, she still wants to keep it. G has, however, also mentioned to me that she's open to reconnecting with him in a romantic capacity, which makes the whole moving in together even more complicated.
Mm-hmm.
I have this sinking feeling that both me and her are tiptoeing around, awaiting his decision, but he's not willing to make one.
Well, maybe you need to make one. Either way, even if you go on with your daily life, because you guys do live apart, you're not living in the same town, and say, you have some things to work out, and let's not call it that we're in a monogamous relationship. We're open at this point in time. We're certainly friends. We certainly care for one another. We love one another, and we'll see if we prevail through this or not.
Yeah.
But we need to really open up our doors, especially with what you're going through with baby mama, all that dynamic, living together. So, you'll see what happens and you'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I just think that specifically, if you know that baby mama is intending to get back with baby daddy romantically, that's just another hurdle that you're going to have to jump over. And G should recognize that. And if G really wants it to work, he would find a different situation. And again, right place, right time, right person. It's okay that, this maybe wasn't the right time. And sounds like long distance, it can work. But if you're building something serious, maybe it's also the wrong place.
Yeah.
So move on. You had that place in your life with that person. Take the good things, find out what you like. The shitty things that are transpiring now, move on. Find something better in the next person.
Yeah, I think you'll save yourself a lot of ups and downs and heartache, and just being strung along would be just bad for this.
Yeah.
But please let us know.
Yeah.
Keep us in the loop.
This is like when Netflix, the episode ends and it's like, next.
Yeah. What happens next?
We need to know what happened.
You certainly have some seasons ahead of you. I will tell you that. A lot of episodes.
And I think you can find other G's out there.
They're there. And
that are in your country and, everything all at once.
A lot less hurdles.
I don't regret for a second the kids that I have. Not for a second. And the life that, that I ended up with. But let me tell you, it is certainly a commitment, and it does cost you a relationship that might be out there. So you got to make that decision. Is this relationship really the one that's going to work for you? And I would roll right now. And if it comes back and it's really meant to be, it's going to happen. You can't stop the universe with that.
Agreed.
Okay, let's roll on. Number 2.
Hello, FKS family. Looking for advice about my wedding. I, 28 female, and my fiance, 27 male, have been planning to get married in May of 2025. We booked a beautiful Airbnb and plan to host 30 of our closest friends and family members. My fiance and I are both shy and don't like being the center of attention, so a small and intimate wedding seemed ideal. We plan to have our siblings be bridesmaids and groomsmen, and even plan for our nieces and nephews to be flower girls or ring bearers. Our nieces are so excited. They talk about being flower girls all the time and even practice at home. I'm writing in for advice because my fiance and I are considering changing our wedding plans. We have been starting to get overwhelmed by all of the work, planning, and logistics that will go into having a wedding out of state. We're planning on a lot of DIY, but now feel like our wedding weekend will be so much work. We're also finding that it will cost more than we anticipated. We have other financial goals that we are focusing on right now too, like traveling, buying a house, starting a family in the next few years. We want to change our plan to have a courthouse wedding in our home state and an intimate dinner to celebrate afterward. We still want to make it as special as we possibly can, just less stress, hassle, and more budget friendly. We would also plan to go on a really nice honeymoon and have professional pictures taken while we are there. My fiance and I are so tempted to change our plan. We feel that it makes a lot more sense for us as a couple. We would just feel awful about changing the plans of our guests who are already looking forward to our wedding. We would especially feel terrible about disappointing our nieces who have been looking forward to being flower girls. Any advice is truly appreciated.
Well, weddings are expensive. Let me tell you what. We went all out on ours. We had 200 people. That was the max we could have. And we filled that venue. And it was a destination a couple hours north up on Lutsen Mountain. And it's expensive. And I can understand if you have the ability to change the destination and save money, by all means, it's your wedding and it's your day. You can do whatever you want. And I think you should. I think that if you have already sent out formal invites, then that gets a little tricky. But if it's just been off the cuff conversation, this is what we're doing, this is what we want to do, these are the people we're going to have in the wedding, you're okay to change your mind still. And you just bring it to those people and say, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a courthouse wedding, and then we want to have an intimate dinner with the 30 of you at a restaurant, or event center, whatever that looks like, right? And I think that from what it sounded like, the biggest hurdle here was the niece and the nephews I don't know if there's a priest or a pastor or whoever is going to marry you, an ordained friend perhaps, maybe they have, like the niece and nephew could walk you into the restaurant and throw out flowers, or the ring bearer could throw out beers. I'm not sure. Whatever you want to do and whatever your style is, but I'm just saying they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I think you're on the right path. Is find some way to involve the ring bearer so they feel that they were a part of it, but everybody else will totally get it and understand and keep it simple.
Yeah. There's more than 6 months notice for you changing your plan, so I wouldn't think that it would be way too short of notice for other people to change their plans. I am surprised a little bit by your answer, though, because you were kind of the one who is pushing for the fancier, bigger wedding for us. And you have said that you don't regret it and that it was one of the best days of your life. And you really enjoy that memory. And it was worth it, is what you have also told me.
To me,
yes,
it was worth it. I enjoyed having that party in front of our friends and family. And I liked that aspect. The average wedding nowadays, I'm sure it's way more, but we were near the $30,000 mark after it was all said and done.
I think it's even more for the average wedding these days.
Yes.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that though.
It took us years to pay off.
Here's my other advice. I have 2 things. Do the wedding how you want to do it. And if you're going to buy a ring, buy a lab-grown diamond or a moissanite or even a CZ in that thing, because when you lose it in the yard, it's a sad day. And you could take that money for your trip that you're going to take.
And your house or your kids.
It's certainly less of a sad day when it's not, the full-blown deal.
I think it's a sad day when you lose that stone, no matter if it's a piece of granite, because it was so special of what it represented, more than the value.
Well, but the diamond popped out of my ring even before we were married. We'd been engaged like maybe 6 months or something, and it fell out one day. And I think that I like to think someday the world will return it back to me, or it's in Lake Superior. I think it might actually be in Lake Superior because I took the dogs for a walk that day with the leashes around my hand, and I think it popped the whole setting out. So I think it's somewhere in Lake Superior.
Wow.
That's a big place to look.
Treasure hunt, everybody. Yes.
Well, given the ideal outcome, change our wedding plans, but still have a special day. That is the core of what this is. It is your day.
Yes.
It's fully your choice. Make it what you want. In some ways, you're throwing a big party for all your friends and family. But at the same time, it's really about you. And however you and your partner want to do it is exactly how you should do it.
Yes.
Changing plans, inconvenient, sure. Impossible, no. Especially when it's your wedding day.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the ideal outcome, limit the disappointment of our guests, especially the kiddos. And I like some creative thinking like that.
Mhm.
It's not, oh, yeah, no, you're uninvolved. You're just coming to a boring, from a kid's perspective, a boring after party dinner. No, we want you guys. We're going to do something even cooler than what we were going to do before.
Right.
You guys are going to be the start of the party. You go in, the music's going to be going, and you guys, what you were saying. And I think that's easy.
Yeah.
That's such an easy change.
Mhm.
You guys are going to have the day of your lives, and everyone else is still going to have a good time too.
Yes. And they'll support you in it
Yeah.
because the most important thing is that the two of you are getting married.
And they're
So-
still 7 months away.
Yeah.
And so, by the way, you hit 4 out of 4. We all agree on the same thing. So I think that might be a plan that everyone will accept, that you will find out when you make that change.
Perfect.
What do you want for your wedding someday?
Mine?
Yeah.
It really depends on the action of who it is and what's involved. I don't know. I mean, I certainly think about it. I would be lying to you if I told you I don't think about it. But when I think about, when I'm seeing somebody and I care about them, I always get a different picture. It really depends on my mate. And right now, since there's no mate, the chalkboard is wide open. It's a whiteboard. I can do whatever I want. But it would really help if I had somebody to fill the other, to wear the dress, because I don't think I can wear both.
Fair enough.
Yep.
There you go.
Okay.
One of this week's partners is BetterHelp. I love the holidays. I love making cookies and cozying up in all of my warm layers. But the holidays can also come with a lot of feelings. But one way to handle all of them could be therapy. I myself have loved online therapy in the past. I've loved how convenient it is. So if you're thinking about giving therapy a try this holiday season, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time at no additional charge. I myself have had multiple therapists. You don't always click with the first one. It's just like dating or making friends. It could take a few tries. So if you feel like your holidays could be tough and you might need some extra support, find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/FKS today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/FKS.
Let's roll on. Number 3.
Number 3. I apologize for the length, but hopefully this all makes sense. My boyfriend, 27 male, and I, 27 female, have been dating for about 3 years now. When we first started dating, I had mentioned that I didn't really want kids, but that there was maybe a 5 to 10% chance that I would change my mind, and he said that he was undecided because sometimes he wanted them and sometimes he doesn't. Fast forward to now. We're having the whole kid discussion again. He says to me that he's always pictured his life with kids. I feel like I've been lied to because this was never mentioned, and he had multiple different opportunities to say this to me, but it wasn't until I mentioned getting my tubes tied that he seemed to take my decision seriously. I really do care about and love him, but now I feel like I have to make a decision about the relationship. As much as I would like to stay in it, I don't know if that is going to happen. I would appreciate any advice you have to give on the matter, and if the decision is to break up, then any words of encouragement would be appreciated. Ideal outcome, I don't want to feel like a placeholder for him while he makes up his mind. And I know this is a big decision to make. My ideal outcome would be to have a fresh perspective on this so that I can make the best decision for me.
Well, I think that the decision to have kids or not have kids is huge. And if you are really firm she must be really firm in her decision and feel very comfortable in that decision to not have kids because she's looked into having her tubes tied, then your partner needs to be on board. I think that it's going to be a wedge in your relationship moving forward if you continue to do that, and is only going to drive you further apart if you continue to have different thought processes about it.
Absolutely.
So now that I think you're at a crossroads. I think that decisions need to be made sooner rather than later so that you aren't a placeholder. If you are firm and clear and like, yep, I'm not going to change my mind, I think having that conversation with him and saying, here's how it is, and leaving it to be like, okay, are you completely okay with that? Do you feel at peace and calm with not having kids? if that's something that's really important to him, then I think that they should end things and that she should move on to find someone who's on the same page.
Absolutely. Matthew, what do you got?
Yeah, I just think your goals need to align. You want to do X, Y, and Z in your career paths. This is what you're going to do. We want to have a family. We don't want to have a family. And with this, I agree. It's going to be hurdle is the word for this episode, I think. It's going to be another hurdle. And if say you give him a timeline and say, hey, I'm going to give you a week to decide, a month to decide. I don't want kids. Are you with me? Are you out? That's going to be a huge decision for him to make. And he might struggle with that. The fact of thinking, oh, I want to be with this person. I want to have kids with this person. And now I'm going to lose that person. I can't lose that person. And how they choose to hang on to that relationship and hold it, there might be resentment for years down the line on that side of things.
Yeah.
So you almost need to have a really tough conversation and make that choice for him.
Yeah, you actually used a word with the word alignment. I've always used the word, it's the same thing, meeting of the minds. And your minds are definitely in two different places at this point. If you want to have a relationship that will be successful, unless you both can grow the same direction. And if you can't, then you're not in the middle of a meeting of the minds. And it could be a lot of stress. And as much as he will say, like you said, I don't want to lose her. I'll do anything. I'll give up anything for her. But later in some other moments, you may have resentment. So make sure that you guys are on the same path. I mean, this episode was really supposed to be called Romance. And you could have some people choose not to have children and some people choose to have children, but you definitely don't want to lose the romance, which is the love of being, of wanting the same things and being able to enjoy life in a way that you both want to enjoy it. So if you're not on par with children, you're the wrong match. Typically, I would say move on and find your match, find your person.
And if he all of a sudden is like, yep, I want them, but I'm going to give that up for you, I also think that that's a red flag.
Yes.
Because further down the road, resentment will pop up, I think. That's why I was like, he needs to have peace in his soul.
I gave up kids for you.
Right.
Remember that one? I gave up kids for you. I mean, that I feel that I could see it in the future.
Or, 5 years down the line and there's the secretary that really wants to have kids and you guys got this office thing and next thing you know, he's cheating on you. And
I would be prepared for that though in the future, that you may break up now over this issue and you may see him a happy parent sometime in the future. But then again, it goes back to timing.
Yep.
Wasn't the right time. Oh, of course he all has kids now. He's a bunch of kids and a happy family. Well, he didn't want that with you. So you wouldn't have wanted that anyway with him. If you want to look at it that way.
They've had their moment and look back on the pros, the cons, and move on to the next situation.
Do any of us think they should go to, talk to a family therapist and just, kind of open up all these different things and thoughts, why or why not? What are you afraid of with children? See if they can figure that out before they make this drastic decision on terminating their relationship when they really do want a life together? Is there anything to that?
I think rarely counseling is a bad thing. If they want to, I think it could be helpful.
They both would need to choose that we are going to give it X amount of time because we want this to work, but these are our hard lines. And if the hard line for him is, well, I want kids, period, then it doesn't, for me, doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense. But if he's, well, maybe I could go without kids. Here's where I'm at today. Well, then, okay, explore it. With kids, it just seems like it's the next level of commitment. And to have any wavering ideas about them doesn't seem like the risk that I would want to take.
Rolling on to number, is it 4?
Another one of this week's partners is Breeze. Are you looking for the perfect buzz without the hangover? Or maybe you're reevaluating your relationship with alcohol? Well, Breeze's next-gen social tonics are the evolution of drinking. They have a unique blend of hemp-derived THC, CBD, and lion's mane mushrooms to create a euphoric, calming, and inspiring effect, unlike anything you've ever tried. I know what you're thinking, and no, this is not like an edible. It kicks in around 10 minutes after your first sip and lasts about an hour and a half, just like your favorite cocktail. It's subtle enough for mom to try, but stackable so you can really create your own ideal experience. This sparkling blend is crafted with notes of Italian lemon and elderflower and has only 30 calories. Contains only 8 grams of natural sugar from agave and uses organic ingredients, making it the perfect guilt-free beverage. Breeze is also 100% legal and ships all across the continental United States. Just use our code FKS at drinkbreeze.com to claim $10 store credit towards your first order. So skip the hangover and enjoy louder laughs, brighter colors, and tastier snacks with Breeze.
Number Quattro.
4.
4.
Okay, jumps right in. My ex moved on to the next person within a week, and I have to see them every week. Okay, so I met my ex in a student sport association 2 years ago, and we were in a committed relationship for about 1 year. We had many problems, and ultimately, it wasn't working, which led to us breaking up at the beginning of the year. However, we were both still very active at the association. So we see and saw each other every week still, which led to us coming back together, and we were in an on-off-ish relationship for the last couple of months. Now, do not get me wrong, I am happy the relationship is over, as we really were not working, but I am very hurt by how he is handling everything. It basically stopped as we stopped messaging each other. When he also stopped texting, I was relieved it was over, but I also had a bad gut feeling. He was very often sad and closed down in our relationship. That is basically how I've seen him most in the last year. Now he is very active again, being very loud and present, especially very loud in the group chats about all the fun things he is doing. Now, this already bothers me, as I feel like it is a facade, but whatever, I can get over it. However, as I stated, I had a bad gut feeling already since we actually ended about this girl in our association. But I calmed myself down thinking, well, he wouldn't do that. Go on within a week after we ended. However, last week I was in the pub with some people, including the both of them. If they tried to hide that they are talking, they at least failed miserably because the flirting was way obvious. Mind you, I was right there all the time as we were a smaller group. That night I went home and slept so horribly because of it. The next morning, I decided to ask my ex what was going on, as it felt so disrespectful to not tell me, but still do it right in front of me. Basically, my ex confirmed they were dating, but he says it only happened 1 week after we were finally done. But mind you, we never really discussed or officially closed it. It is now a month after we are officially done. I feel like this shows that he is just unable to be alone, because he has also moved on to me really quick after his previous ex, which I only found out later in the relationship. Now it hurts that I have to see them every week, at every social event. I generally do not want him back or anything like that, for many reasons, but it still hurts me he would move on so quick.
He's not your problem anymore. Simple. You need to just go on with life, and it should not at all affect you one way or the other, because there's no life in the future for you and him, period. If you guys see each other or you're in the same area, he is no different than anybody else. The fact that you once were intimate or you once had feelings, that's gone. And I know that I'm more bold in a lot of us that when we get into these conversations, but it's a wrap. It's like a movie. The movie's wrapped. The actors start in a new. Next week they're in another show and they take on a new character. He's taken on a new character. We just got to put it in a frame of mind that it cannot affect you anymore, and you can't take it personal because you both realize that you guys might be great soil and you must be great water, but together you guys made mud. And with that knowledge, just recognize and just accept that we are not the ones that are going to grow a great garden together. We're going to make mud, and it's going to be sloppy and icky and mushy. And long as you have that vision in your head, it might make it easier for you to go on and find the right person and put your focus in the person who is not like him, that can take a relationship really serious. Look, I broke up in a relationship 8 months ago. I could have gone out the next day, but I chose to spend time with myself and take care of the things that I wanted to take care of, not get involved until I really felt that things were really clear. And there was a time that shouldn't affect anybody. But sometimes people, it still affects at the end of the day. But that's not your issue. You just got to go forward and keep your head high and look for your own relationship.
Yeah. The thing I was thinking the whole time was, and she even said it, that it's more of a reflection on him. All of this is a reflection on him and not a reflection on her. And maybe that will help her feel a little bit better and move forward. The fact that he is moved on and is dating someone else so soon and so quickly, I mean, maybe she's right that he just isn't good at being alone and fears being alone. You know, maybe there was a little bit of an emotional affair even before moving on with and starting to date this other person. Like, it sounded like their relationship was kind of on again, off again, and kind of fizzling out towards the end. So maybe without even meaning to, that happened. And at the beginning of a relationship, because she mentioned how much he's changed and is louder and bubbly and whatever, might be a little bit of the honeymoon stage of things. And just kind of acknowledging it is what it is, but it has no reflection on her whatsoever. That, yep, they just didn't work out. He moved on. That's a reflection on him, not you. And what are you going to do with your life now moving forward? And how are you going to respond to that situation is what you need to be focusing on. So how are you going to continue to show up in your group with your friends, doing the things that you love to do, put your passion into the things that you love to do, and focusing on yourself in this point of time? I think that's where you're going to find the greatest reward. And taking some space from them within the group, I think, is fine, right? You don't have to be best buddies. You don't have to be like hanging out at their end of the table, you know, hang out on the other end of the table for now.
And she doesn't have to abandon going to her sports club because she enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can still go. You don't have to be best buddies with them, but just focus on the other things that you love from that club and your other friends that you're hanging out with. So
student association, did they say how old?
No.
Okay. To me, this sounded like two individuals who are younger, maybe beginning of college, but I just kept bringing it back to high school for me. When you would date somebody in high school and you broke up, you were with that person based on the size of your school. We had a class of 100, and I dated a girl in high school prior to Amy.
No.
And you did. That sucked for a period of time where things weren't over for one of us, and that person, her, was just out and about doing her thing throughout school, and you'd have class together, and it was just like, you felt like it was a reflection on you. But I think as you get older, you'll recognize that that person in this situation, that spark wasn't there for OP, and that spark wasn't there for the boyfriend in this case. And you'll move on, you'll grow, you'll meet new people, and the trifecta wasn't involved here. I kept thinking wrong person, but down the line, maybe they become the right person. It just, you never know where life is going to bring you.
Especially when it's so young. In that case, yes, if they are young, you never know what. Even as you get older, you don't know.
You're never going to go wrong, though, focusing on yourself as far as helping you grow into the best person you can be.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal to watch your ex in front of you, moving on and doing all these things. But the thing we kept coming back to in this is, I am happy the relationship is over.
Exactly.
We were not working, X, Y, Z. And though I mean, if you still had feelings, then this would be really difficult. But because you agree that we're better separate, it's just more kind of, I think, getting used to that new normal and also just not letting it affect you.
Yeah.
Like you're on your own path now. So stay focused, focus on whatever the class or the work it is, and just keep grinding on that because you're not going to have to be locked next to them forever.
I think she said in there her biggest problem was how he went about it, that he didn't give it enough time. But if you agree that it wasn't right, then it doesn't matter. Yeah. I think you should go and date his best friend.
I like that.
Well,
I mean, whatever.
Then she'd really have to see him all the time, though.
I would say only date his best friend if you really like his best friend. If you don't really like the guy.
Maybe she does. Maybe there's somebody else in the student association that,
maybe
this is not tit for tat, right? Or however, whatever word
jokes,
you want to use.
Jokes. Just jokes.
I do also think that the more time you give it, the easier it will be.
Yeah. And you really, all of you said it. She picked to end this thing. Just let it go and move on and go find the right person. He obviously was not the right person. Go find your person and focus on that.
All right.
Another one of this week's partners is Dipsy. Have you finished devouring ACOTAR and you're desperate for more? Well, I'm about to be there soon. But in the meantime, we have Dipsy. Dipsy's spicy audiobooks will fill that ACOTAR-sized hole in your heart. And you're never going to run out of content because Dipsy has over 1,000 spicy audiobooks, all crafted by a team of professional writers and top-tier narrators. And new chapters are released every week. And you're going to find whatever you're looking for. Rugged cowboys, Scottish sailor, Fey royalty, out of the underworld. Their app is also super easy to explore. You just search keywords of what you're looking for, and a bunch of different audiobooks are going to come up for you. So try it for yourself. By yourself, practice some self-care with a partner to spice things up. Dipsy is going to have something for everyone. For listeners of the show, Dipsy is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipsystories.com/FKS. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to DIPSEA stories.com/FKS. dipsystories.com/FKS.
Okay. We are now going to roll into number 5, or is that going to be it for the
grand finale on number 5?
Woohoo! The grand finale. How's your ears?
That was bad, Jerry.
Jesus Christ on a motorbike.
I think he's got an ear problem. How's your tinnitus going?
He's never done that. No.
He's excited. He's excited that we're here. Oh my Lord.
Try and redo your introduction for number 5.
Number 5. Bing. Fireworks. Wow.
Okay.
You always act this weird. What's wrong with you?
Well, he got me on the grand finale thing.
Let's go.
Here it is.
Okay, here we go. Hey guys, really love the podcast. You helped one of my friends at some point last year, so I hope you can help me out with this. Me, 33 male, and my friend, 37 female, have been best friends for the past 4 years. At the same time, we have had on/off again feelings for each other. We would both playfully flirt around, but the thought of an actual relationship never came up.
They haven't crossed the bridge yet.
We both loved each other, but we never said it out loud. I can't speak for her, but for me, it wasn't something I was too comfortable saying out loud. That all changed earlier this summer. She came over to my house for a movie night, something we casually do a couple times a month. During the movie, she was getting real close to me, more so than usual. It never got uncomfortable. It was just surprising since she didn't seem like she was in a flirty mood. Once the movie ended, I asked her how she was doing. She looked at me and wondered if she could ask something. I said sure. She's been thinking lately and wanted to know my true feelings about her. Obviously, this surprised me. I let her know I knew she loves me and that I felt the same way. Her eyes lit up. We discussed the idea of actually being together and thought it would be a great idea. Things have been, all caps, amazing. But lately, I haven't been as sure as I was in the beginning. I still and will always love her, but I'm not sure if I am still in love with her. I don't want to break up with her, but I feel if I tell her the truth, she will feel I'm having doubts and think we should just break up. I don't want to lose her. How do you guys think I should handle this? Am I just acting ridiculous? Any help would be greatly appreciated. Please and thank you.
I'm going to start with Midwest married over there.
Love versus in love. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, you can look at it a couple different ways, but I'm going to let you take it your own way. Love versus in love. And I'll have my chance later. Go.
You guys ever hear of post-marathon blues?
No.
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of times, or post-run blues, if you are at a race or you have a big goal, and this could be related back to anything, and then you achieve that goal, there's almost this letdown afterwards where it's not living up. You're not chasing towards something. You're not achieving something. You're not, maybe to me, it sounds like you're just in that period of a relationship where things aren't maybe as exciting because you've fallen into this, whether it be routine, same old, and
is that called a rut?
A rut.
A rut.
Could be a rut.
Keep going. Sorry.
And I would really be introspective and think about the things that you're missing in this relationship and what has truly changed from now to when you guys sat on that couch and expressed your love for one another. Because maybe it truly is just, what is it you're missing? And talk to that person and communicate and be able to say, this is how I'm feeling right now. I feel like we're in a rut. I feel like we need to talk about this, explore it, figure out what it is, what it isn't, and how do you feel? She came to you and asked how you felt and was able to start that conversation. I think you should be able to do the same with that person. And me and Amy, we've never been in a rut.
Ever. Yeah, I really agree. I think that especially if you had it in the beginning, I don't think it's like just gone and lost, especially after like such a short period of time. You've been friends for so long. If you had that spark, right? Because they were like, yes, we're going to give it a go. And they felt in love at that period of time. And now they're just like, I don't know if it's there anymore. Right? That was the kind of the scenario. I wonder if just more time will tell and that you just need to communicate really. And I really like that. Like look for what's missing in the relationship. If it's something big, something little, and then chase, after that together and see if that kind of returns, because there's going to be ups and downs in a relationship, right? It's not always going to be sunshine and butterflies, but it does seem to like kind of cycle a little bit sometimes.
I think when we're in a rut or when you're with your significant other, when you guys aren't at a peak level and you're in the lows, you're in the swell. It's apparent. And I think they're in their 30s. They should, I would believe, know very much what they like and what they don't like and what they want out of life at this point, or they should be getting to that point.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at this note. If you do that introspective thinking, people do grow apart. You can be together and you can separate and grow in different directions. And maybe that's what you're finding out too, is that this really isn't what I want. You've moved down a different path.
Or maybe they just need to find out what is that something that needs to connect them again? Like what brings them together? Is it
movies on the couch?
Movies on the couch? Is it romantic dinners? Is it going on a vacation or mountain
bedroom
biking
activities?
Or bedroom activities? And then try to, nurture that connection, because gardens grow when you water it.
Matthew, you really nailed what I was going to say. So, I mean, it's, communication. Be so brutally honest with one another that you can, because if one person feels it, the other person typically feels it. Your radars are catching it. And you guys also both may have had a lot of anticipation for this relationship leading up to it and wanted to both try it and see what would happen. But because you did try it and you have seen what happened, I would certainly investigate doing things together that will take you to the next step. Before, when you guys got, said you're going to get married, the first thing I did is I sent you guys to dancing school. Now, I don't know how many times you've gone dancing, ballroom dancing or swing dancing since the wedding. My guess is going to be you haven't.
We've danced in our kitchen a few times
yeah.
our song,
to
but
our
yeah,
song.
we've never gone back to ballroom dancing.
And I think when I watch people and I watch that connection and they do things, they get to create together and have that fun. It is a beautiful, fun thing to do. In fact, I'm going to start taking ballroom dancing myself right now, and swing and rumba and samba and salsa, because you do meet people and you have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's great, and you're getting the same wedding gift. You're going to dance class.
Yeah, Jerry said, this is your wedding gift. It's the only one you get. If you don't want to do it, there's nothing else.
That's it.
So we said, okay, we'll do it. And it was a lot of fun.
I've always learned people that dance together stay together.
Yeah.
And it's a fun connection. So, find something that you like to do together and let that help you grow. And that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, I think just to round us out, it's not unnatural to have cold feet in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times, especially early on, before engagement, before marriage, or even after, I'm not sure, I'm not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, oh, am I with the right person? Am I this? Am I that? I think that's just naturally human. But when it gets to the point where you are clearly saying, I'm not in love, I love, but I'm not in love, that's kind of a big step. And that's starting to tell you, trust your gut with that feeling. Yeah, it's kind of up to you if you want to just be very upfront and be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling and blah, 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 blah. But sometimes that can also ruin a good thing.
Mm.
So be sure of your feelings, I would say, before bringing up something this serious.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you say it, it's hard to ever come back.
You can't unsay it.
I would not use those words. I would not present it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would ask, hey, do you feel like things are going as smooth or as exciting as they were?
Yeah.
Are we connecting?
Are we connecting the same way that we used to, do you think? Or what could we do to connect more efficiently?
Yeah. Choose your words wisely.
Yes.
And there is also, last thing, caring for somebody, love, in love. If you're in love with somebody, I'll always have love for you, right? There's just the vocabulary there, I think, needs to be very crystal clear in what you are saying, because when you tell somebody, I love you, but I'm just not in love with you anymore, that's kind of a slap in the face.
Yeah. It's like, all right, we're done. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace. Passion, the having passion and trying to make sure you find the desire for passion, that you can get that, within your eyes for each other. That's sometimes a line of work together to keep that alive and to keep it where you can. It's part of growth. I really do believe it's part of mutual respect and growth, that you still have that feeling when you see them and your heart gets tickled when you see their car when you drive up in the driveway and you see them, that they're there. You go, oh, they're home. I get to see them. It's a nice thing. And I've had that experience, and I've had the other side. And, it's, if you're with the wrong person, it doesn't last. It's time to go find that with the person that you really think that you can communicate with, and that you have that meeting of the minds, that it really is something that's going to continue to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like they just need to explore this a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
dive deeper into themselves, figure out if it was a real thing to begin with, if it's something that can come back.
Or if it was just a try and it just found out it's mutually not there.
But we do know we have a good base. Best friends for the past 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
If you already have that down,
right?
Maybe it doesn't work romantically, but you at least have a really strong connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So let us know where it goes.
I
And that's
want an
romance.
update
So
on that.
that is it for our show for tonight. That's the Christmas opening of the Christmas season socks.
Yes.
It was wonderful to have you guys here for the week. It was better to have you on the show. We had a lot of fun.
Yes.
It's great to see how you guys have developed, because I don't get to spend a lot of time together with you guys, and how you and I see so many things in the same dimension. Where when you were younger and I was younger, apparently we were on different planets.
Different universes, really. And if you're still listening, be sure to check out Midwest Married. Follow us, YouTube, Instagram, and
like.
everything, all the pluses.
all the good stuff.
And Father Knows Something will be on the episode this upcoming week. So check it out.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Jerry, thank you so much for having us, not only in your home in California, but on the podcast. Lots of fun.
It's a lot of fun. Well, you're my family and I love you
Awesome.
guys. And it was great. It really was.
We'll do it again soon.
We went,
Love
by the way, also went horseback riding today as a family. And
I'll put those videos in the end.
yes, and
I took
so
a few
fun.
videos.
It was so good.
I'm probably wearing a blanket because I probably have damaged some parts of my body.
Anything
You'll
for the
make it.
kids.
You'll make it.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.